to my channel. This is the third and the last part in my series about finance and managing your money. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I think we should all be considering or open ourselves up to potentially getting a second job, whether it's a part-time job or a side hustle or anything of that sort. This would be particularly beneficial for anyone that actually has the time or the ability to carve out a few extra hours in their week. So first of all, I know that it seems like everybody is either starting a business or doing something creative or something like that, and not everyone is able to do that or wants to do that. So I think it's important to consider the option of just having a small side hustle. The first reason I would recommend considering additional income, whether it's a side hustle or picking up hours at work or a part-time job, is the fact that a lot of us do not have multiple sources of income. A lot of people have just one source of income and don't have much of a cushion. Thriving or Surviving study in 2022 found that 50% of people did not have enough money for a $2,500 emergency, which is a pretty low threshold. Of the people that borrowed money to help pay for regular daily living expenses, 61% won't be able to pay that back. Lots of layoffs are happening, so it's very risky, I think, to rely on a single income. I'm not saying working a few extra hours in the week will make a huge difference, but it might help you get closer to having at least maybe $2,500 in the case of an emergency, or give you some cushion in case anything happens. Or if nothing else changes, at least you have a little bit of a cash cushion to help you pay for groceries or the increasing inflation and cost of groceries. Second factor to consider is whether you work in a volatile market or a volatile field. I think everyone that was in tech thought they were very secure, and there have been thousands of layoffs all over. And while these people make a lot of money and maybe had the luxury of saving a lot of money and should be fine, hopefully, you never know if that's going to be you or not. It's better to not rely on just one income. So again, if you were able to have a part-time job or work a couple extra hours in the week, then you might have a tiny bit of a cushion that may ease the blow if something happens like that. I think the last thing any of us want to experience is having zero income and all these expenses. And the benefit of picking up an additional job versus picking up extra hours at work is if something happens to the current job, you still have another job that you're already a part of that you could maybe pull in more hours to help ease the transition of losing that main primary job or source of income that you have. A reason to consider a second income source would be the fact that you may have really high expenses or expenses that exceed your income. That especially may be the case if you're living paycheck to paycheck and now you're experiencing all this inflation, rising groceries, gas, etc. Or if you have a new family member, if you just became a parent to another child. These are all situations that result in a lot of higher expenses, and it's worth considering a second job or an additional source of income. Other factors include having increasing interest rates, especially if you're on like a variable rate mortgage, for example, or other unforeseen circumstances like an emergency. The fourth thing to consider is more about not increasing your lifestyle inflation or pursuing this soft lifestyle. I don't necessarily think right now is the time to incorporate this type of outlook in life, especially if you're very strapped for cash. I think with any type of change in lifestyle, there is usually some level of monetary investment that's involved with it. So right now, if you're living a certain maybe busy lifestyle, you might be tempted to buy things that help you fit that aesthetic. And I don't think right now is the time. Unless, of course, you're able to pursue additional income of some sort that can help fund those activities. Like I mentioned in my previous video over here or here, I really don't think practicing like extreme minimalism is the way to go right now. I think we should just be more mindful and strategic about the things that we do already have. So these were different reasons why I think it's beneficial to consider a secondary source of income, whether that's picking up extra shifts at work or actually getting a second job, whether it's part-time hours, or I don't think it's healthy to have two full-time jobs, but you know what I mean. And the third option would be to explore potential side hustles if you have something that you're already good at or can provide some sort of service that other people would be willing to pay for. I think it's totally worth it. The reality of the world is that there are plenty of people that work second or third jobs in order to pay for their bills. So right now is not the time to necessarily incorporate lifestyle inflation. But I do hope these tips help you if you are finding that your budget is more tight and you have extra time that you can maneuver to help you get more income. Actually, leave a comment down below if there are any things that you're doing to help you manage your finances during this basically recession that we're going through right now. This was the last part in my series about saving money and being more frugal. If you haven't seen the other parts, definitely check them out over here or here. Leave a like down below if you liked the video or found it helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.